Nothing's wrong, Michael. It all just is what it is,
You're
including
echoing.
the feedback I'm hearing.
Yes.
But thank you.
I'll have some water.
Welcome to Double Talk. I'm Mark Steffen.
I'm Michael Mandel. My name was there a second ago. We are, this is a very exciting time. We're getting close to the election. The election is like the biggest thing in the world, except for one thing.
What?
The Renaissance Fair.
That's
the
true.
Renaissance Fair is perhaps the most important event every year in Las Cruces.
Well, I don't know about important, but it's certainly one of the largest sponsored by the Arts Council.
Yes.
This is the major moneymaker for the Arts Council. They stand to make $50,000 to $60,000, which helps fund a great many art programs that they fund. And so you're going to be there, right?
I will be there.
You won't be selling food there, will you?
I know. I helped the people set up the food thing today, or yesterday. And
funny, I did notice it on the list of food vendors.
there is a pastrami vendor there. So those of you who hanker for those pastrami sandwiches, $7. It's at the old... Ye Old Renaissance pastrami booth, because pastrami, was invented by Galileo.
Really?
No. But it probably comes from the Renaissance, because they did have to pickle meat in the old days.
They boil it and pickle it?
Pickle it.
So it would
give
last
it
forever.
flavor. Yeah, it tastes good.
Yes.
But there's so many other things to do at the Renaissance Fair. Those of you who have been there will probably be going back. Those of you who haven't been around long enough, you should just go in, take a look. My wife has to go and buy ceramics every year because, your ceramics wear out.
Well, it's a good place to buy for Christmas shopping.
Yes, tons of cool stuff.
And unfortunately, this year, Magellan, the dragon, will not be on the lake.
Too bad we don't have a picture of that.
But he will be there.
He is in a stall. I saw him. He's in a shed.
A stall?
Yes, a dragon shed or barn, and people can go pet him.
They can see the dragon.
For only $40,000. We can repair him by next year.
It's not going to take $40,000.
Yeah, probably not. It's just paying Bob Divin.
But you can donate to his repair so that next year he'll be
there he is.
On the lake again. There he is.
Very nice dragon.
And yes.
That's really him.
He's been out there for many years. How many years?
We think 20 or
10,
22
15
years.
Anyway, yeah, he's been out there a long time. It's Bob Divin's creation. And
Bob Divin will probably still be there as Rat Boy, Rat Catcher, Robert.
Robert the Rat Catcher.
He's got a catapult or ratapult, and that's way at the end of the park, but it's worth it to go see him and hear his talk. If you're friends and aficionados of John Cleese from Monty Python, you'll love Bob Divin.
Oh, you mean Spamalot?
Yeah.
But also, I understand they're building a little village, a medieval village.
A little village.
A little
village.
I understand. I don't know if that's true or not. Frankly, I won't be able to go to the Renaissance Fair because I'll be working busily on a campaign for Evelyn Madrid Erhard, who is the candidate for United States House of Representatives, District 2, which
is us.
Is in. Which is us. All of a sudden,
it'd be great to hear her talk about stuff.
And
could that happen?
Well, she'll be on in the second half of the show today. So after our commercial break, join me back here with Evelyn Madrid Erhard for a quick little interview for the second half of the show. Now, besides the Renaissance Fair,
yes,
it's also the Day
which is on right now.
of the Dead.
Ooh, that's kind of scary. Really? Don't they feed people?
Well, once they're dead, there's nothing scary anymore.
Yeah.
Day of the Dead, or El Dia de los Muertos.
That's in Mesilla Park, right?
No,
Mesilla.
No, it's in Mesilla.
Mesilla,
La
not
Mesilla.
Mesilla Park.
Well, it's everywhere, but the primary celebration is in Mesilla on the plaza, where you see all the altars and displays set up, honoring all of the dead that the people who have set these up are honoring.
Oh, right, the little...
honoring all the dead.
Little altars, right?
Yes,
with
little
altars.
Candles
and
exactly. Some of these are
keepsakes.
very creative. Mm-hmm. And they're very quaint.
That looks like a Grateful Dead album cover.
But they're all very redolent of this area. So I recommend people going over there. It's last night and tonight, or today. Actually, today,
Saturday.
Not so much tonight. They'll probably be taking
Don't
them down.
go last night. Unless you're dead, you can go wherever you want, because
true.
time has no function for you.
Go today over to the Mesilla Plaza. During the day, the altars will all be set up there.
And you could, if you go there today, you can also go to the Renaissance Fair tomorrow, which is Sunday, of course.
You can also do
Saturday
both.
and Sunday.
You can also do both the same day.
You can do both the same day.
It's not a problem.
Yeah.
And
there's
with
great
that,
foods.
The only other thing I have to say is that Steel Magnolias still runs at the Community Theater this weekend.
That's
the final
true.
weekend for Steel Magnolias.
Janet Mosra's in there.
Live theater.
She did a great show at the Black Box, last month, 2 months ago.
Oh, okay.
But we have a special treat because, Toucan has been very nice to us. They gave us ideas of, the cheddar cheese tasting we did a couple of weeks ago. I said, what else is fun to, taste? And they said salsa. And they have such a variety of salsa, and most of it is local. This all is from New Mexico.
And they have brands I've never heard of before.
And they have like 3 times as much variety than I had to cut back and just limit what we have here.
We cut it down to 5.
Yes,
okay,
and a special one.
And for instance, Hendy's. I've never heard of Hendy's.
Nobody ever heard of Hendy's.
Never seen Hendy's before, but they have it there at Toucan Market, and we're going to taste that.
Which one do you want to start with?
Well,
you had Hendy's up.
Why don't we start on the ends and work our way in?
No, you can't. You get started on one end, go to the other side.
Who says?
You just said that.
No, you just did.
Said the ends. It's like burning your candle at both ends. Ever do that? Probably you did.
Story of my life.
You want to start with this one? This is Max. Where am I looking? Oh, there. Look
now, who is Mac anyway?
It's Mac, some Irish guy.
Where's it from?
This one is from, I believe, Magdalena.
See?
Magdalena.
That's the Socorro County,
folks. That's amazing.
It's kind of out of the way.
Hot sauce.
It's near the very large array.
Tomatoes, chipotle chili. This, I think, is the only chipotle one we have. It looks like
it is.
Garlic, sugar, chipotle, powder, jalapeno, and citric acid. So we're going to be tasting that. It's got a little liquid in it. I don't know if you can see that.
Well, we're going to have to use a chip, and unfortunately, we're going to have to talk with the chips in our mouth. But
that's not unfortunate.
Let's try
a lot better for us. It's got that very dark brown look to it.
Hence the chipotle.
Hence the chipotle, the burning of the chili.
That's chipotle, all right.
Wow.
Smoky jalapeno.
Man.
You know what a chipotle is? It's a smoked jalapeno.
Smoked jalapeno,
yeah. Okay. It's a bit watery, I found.
It's a little watery, but there are chunks. The heat sort of slides down your throat fairly quickly, and it starts to get intense rather rapidly. So that's Max. Wow.
Yeah, it's not bad.
Take a picture of these chips. We got these chips from Toucan also, the multicolored chips. I said, what would be good for our little tasting? They gave us the multicolored chips.
Well, television is a medium of color.
So that one has this residual heat. The girl who just walked in had this. This wasn't your favorite one. You liked.
Never mind.
We'll go to the other ones.
Okay.
You want to go to your side?
Let's go to Hendy's.
So where's that from? It says on the side.
You
don't have your glasses.
Tell me where it's from.
This one is unique because it's made with cumin, and it's from Alamogordo, which is just about an hour away from here. This also has habanero and jalapeno peppers.
Who knew they made salsa in Alamogordo?
Well, I think they made a few.
Let's try some of this.
I'm still burning from this.
Come on,
this
Michael,
one.
please.
Really, come on. You locals. Oh, this one has some green stuff in it. Unless that's from you.
No, that's actually pretty good salsa.
Is it?
Yeah.
See that onion? Can you see?
There is onion in there.
There's a lot of tomato. It's a lot of. It's chunky.
It's got a very distinctive taste to it, which is why I do like it. Now, this says...
You know what? You like Indian food, and the cumin is one of those Indian spices that you're probably used to being from Indian heritage.
This does not say hot, mild, or
just says chunky.
Medium. Right, so...
But it is mild.
I guess they're all the same. It is fairly mild.
You know what? That was good after Max, which I'm just sort of repairing my soft tissues from.
Somehow you'll get over it.
I don't know. Does anyone have a Band-Aid for my mouth? Huh?
Well, no, but I got the next best thing.
Yeah? Well, we can't do that on TV.
No, Dick's Cafe. Now, I've always liked this also. Dick's Cafe, popular restaurant.
So is our...
in Las Cruces for years.
Look at that picture of that guy. That guy's like...
I frequently buy Dick's Cafe
like
salsa,
that.
but you can't find it in most stores. Places you can buy it,
this
or
is
of course, Toucan Market. I also get it at Save Mart. And
okay, so we'll
Save
try
Mart
this.
and Toucan's, that's about it. And I guess Dick's Cafe as well.
Perhaps. Let's see. Those of you who are from Las Cruces probably have had this salsa, right? Do I have stuff on my face?
No, that's Mustache chip.
Oh.
You're growing a mustache now.
All right,
Yeah,
Michael.
and now I'm going to, this is
And
like
now
double
you gotta dip it
dipping.
in. We can't eat that again. It's pretty good, isn't it?
This one is,
So good, I'm going to scrape it off here.
this one is highly, whoa. Okay,
It's
you know,
very
at
good.
first it was very
It's subtle.
nice
and then
taste, and then about, what was that, about 10-second lag there, and it just hits
No,
you.
it's very good. I think it's one of the best.
It also has
salsas
a,
in
look at
southern
the
New Mexico.
consistency it has. The others are chunky. This one has a nice smooth
It
consistency.
does. Yeah, it does. It really does.
Looks like it's got a
not
few-
watery.
No, it's not. It's salsa-y. So one of the good things about
It's
salsa,
homogeneous.
you know, if we knew a difference between salsa and pico de gallo is just chopped
That's
up
very
stuff.
chunky, and that's cruda.
Right.
Because it's not cooked.
It doesn't have the
These are all cooked
tomato sauce.
salsas. by
But
the
this
way.
has a great texture.
It does.
You could almost just drink it. Here.
And I recommend Dick's
So
salsa.
we're going to drink this.
Now put it down.
Wait, I'm going to try some more since you love it so
Really?
much.
I do love it.
Might as well eat the good stuff. Tears.
It's very addictive.
Tears are forming.
It's addictive, Michael.
It is.
So
it's
be
a
careful,
Very
because
nice
you will
one.
get hooked. I know
No,
how
we
you
wanna
are.
get hooked. Yeah, you know me and my addictions.
Oh God. So let's move on.
Wow. Okay, so we did. We do Max, Hendy's,
Yes.
and
We did Dick's. Moving on to
Salsa Patria.
salsa patria,
Yeah, it's
chunky medium heat.
what does patria mean? Father, land.
Patria.
Looking to anybody who knows.
Could be their name.
This is jalapeno, no habanero in this, tomatoes, cilantro, okay, and chili de arbol. And this is made in Silver City. Silver City. You've heard of that
Okay.
place.
So it is a wonderful little town.
It's got to be hot because even the chili pepper is lounging out in the
No,
sun.
because it only says medium. So let's see.
Well, I knew we were going to have 5 of these, so I thought a medium might not be bad.
It's got a distinctive flavor to it.
What does that mean?
And it's
Distinctive.
not just
Look how big that chip is.
it's not just the cilantro. There's something else in there that gives you that distinctive flavor.
Some sort of Silver City type thing.
I wouldn't know. You tell me.
Oregano.
Did it say it's got oregano?
I think it's got oregano. Yep. It's got
Yeah, that's
cilantro,
what it is.
oregano, lemon juice.
All right then.
Okay, we got one more.
Let's hurry up. We have Sadie sauces, also one of my favorites.
Sadie's, we know, is from Albuquerque. That's the restaurant that used to be in the nice picture.
It's over there on 4th Street. Let's take
Yeah.
it. Have a quick taste. And Sadie's is always fabulous.
Fabulous. Except
Really-
you can't get the top off, you said.
It's one of the best. Yeah. They have the hardest top to remove of any jarred salsa I've ever
You know why?
seen.
Because it's so hot that it melts it.
You know, I have to say, I had lunch at Pros Ranch Market the other day, and the place has gone downhill. They watered down, their sauce is now watered down, and the food's not really nearly as good as it used to be. But since we only have about 30 seconds, relax, Michael.
Yeah.
I found this one salsa.
No wonder you like Sadie's. I mean,
I-
Sadie's is quite...
Sadie's is great. Now, I
Yeah.
found this salsa when I was in Roswell, and you can only get it in the eastern part of New Mexico. And it's called Otisca. And,
Really? That's what it says?
It's got a very distinctive flavor. Take a quick taste because we've got to go. We've got to run to commercial.
We've got to run to commercial and part 2 of the show, which I'm looking forward to. Because I won't have to eat salsa anymore.
It's slightly sweeter than the others,
It's sweeter and smokier. Not as smoky as
but
this
it's very
one.
good.
So,
And with that,
with that, we will...
we recommend all these sauces, frankly. Not a
Nope.
clinker in the bunch. They're all very good.
If you go to Toucan,
Toucan
I'm
Market.
dying here. Go to Toucan, ask them if there's anything that you particularly like, and they could direct you because there's so much difference between all these salsas that you
That's
should at
true.
least try 5 like we did and have an
6.
incredible 6.
Not
but
all
this you
salsa-
can't get in Toucan.
Not all salsas are the same. That being said,
Here's to you guys.
we're going to go to commercial break, and we'll be right back with Evelyn Madrid Erhard for United States Congress.
Bon appetit.
And we're back. Welcome to Double Talk, everybody. My name is Mark Steffen, and for this half of the show, I'm joined now by Evelyn Madrid Erhard, who is candidate for United States House of Representatives, District 2.
Hi, Mark. I'm so glad to be here with you today.
Thanks
Hello, Las Cruces.
Yes, hello, Las Cruces. Thanks for joining us, Evelyn. I appreciated being on the show today. And, the election day is Tuesday, November 6th. And if everybody hasn't voted yet, I would say take advantage of early voting. You can't do it today or Sunday, but you can vote early Monday. And, well, no, I take that back. You can't vote Monday because they've cut off early voting by 6 o'clock Friday. But so make sure that you do vote on Tuesday, all day Tuesday from 8 o'clock in the morning and 7 o'clock in the morning until 7 o'clock in the evening. It's a very important election, maybe more important than any election we've had. I know they always say that, but I think this election really is of vital importance for everyone because there is so much at stake. And one of the things at stake, I believe, is jobs. So many of our jobs have been allowed to go overseas. Companies have been encouraged to take their jobs overseas because they get all kinds of breaks. They save a lot of money. And it almost seems treasonous to me that they're not putting Americans to work in favor of putting people to work from third world countries. Is there anything we can do to bring jobs back to this country and help our tax base and all the other benefits will accrue from that?
Yes. Well, as we know, jobs have gone overseas for several decades now. And the reason is that laws are the ones that would regulate whether or not they can so easily go overseas. And we already know that it has. There are more loopholes and lack of laws. It's one of the lawless areas in the world. And we have seen our country take advantage of other people from other countries by paying them few dollars per day. And it is treasonous because not only is it having an effect on how the world views us and has so much anger towards the United States and disrespect, but it also has had an effect for about 30-year period here in District 2 with people not having jobs. And the few jobs that we have, they've gone to part-time. And because people are working part-time, they're having to do 2 or 3 of those part-time jobs with no benefits at all. And so this is why I'm running for Congress, and this is what is at stake. If you think that times are bad now and you shouldn't vote because times are bad, that's the wrong attitude to take. You must look after your own needs because no one else will look out for you. You have to vote, and you must vote for candidates who will support your needs. And jobs is top on the list. It's been since I graduated, Mark, in 1982 with my master's degree from NMSU. I thought, gee, I'm going to go out into the world, much like your parents did or my parents did when they came out of World War II. And there were jobs, and that whole scene of people staying at a job for 30 years time or until the time that they were ready to retire, that all went in 1982. And so people have just been limping along for so long, and we must bring those jobs back.
That's true. And also what I find outrageous is the fact that Mitt Romney has said if he becomes president, he will give corporations a tax break for taking jobs to other countries rather than a tax break for countries who keep jobs here and hire American workers. That to me seems treasonous as well, and let's hope that doesn't happen, because one of the byproducts of lots of Americans having lots of jobs is the fact that they'll all be paying into Medicare and Social Security, because that's at stake as well in this election, is it not?
Yes.
Yes, and they would do away with Medicare. They would do away, I say they, I mean the Republicans.
Well, yes, and Mark, Steve Pierce voted for Paul Ryan's plan. That was the first thing when the Tea Party caucus came into power after the 2010 election. Steve Pierce and other Republicans signed right on to Paul Ryan's plan to end Social Security, Medicare, Medicaid, and the Affordable Care Act. And that is the one that President Obama did with the Democrats in Congress in 2008, 2009, and that is the one that protects people from being rejected from insurance companies because of a pre-existing condition. It keeps young people up to age 26 while they're finishing their first 2 degrees and living at home still. It keeps them on their parents' insurance policies, and so many more other benefits that we find. And when you look at how sometimes Steve Pierce says, well, you have a choice. You know, my mother, he says, would like to stay on to Medicare. She likes Medicare, but the rest of you can have a choice, and that is a flat out lie. You cannot do that because you need to have people paying into it. If people are not paying into it, by the time somebody has retired now, say at age 65, or maybe they work a little bit longer and they live to be 95 years old, they're going to have to be hoping that Social Security and Medicare are still intact, and it'll only happen if people pay into the system.
That's true. If people just stop paying into it and the government says, well, you don't have to have Medicare, you can go through your insurance company, or you do without and your employer won't have to pay into it for you, that means a whole generation or two are not paying into the program, which allows those in our age range to take advantage of this very same program we've been paying into.
Yes.
And of course, when those young people get to be of retirement age, they won't have anything left for them. So that's another thing that's at stake in this election.
And you know, Mark, and it's so important, because when you think of people struggling now and then struggling when they're older, it's harder. It's a lot harder. When you start getting older, you start having all kinds of health issues, all kinds of problems, like, well, for example, needing more money to survive on. And so not to have Social Security and Medicare, or not for elderly people to have Medicaid or children to have Medicaid, that's really a bad thing that will happen to people.
And speaking of jobs, kind of related to jobs, is the fact that we have lots of immigrants from other countries, and they're not just from Mexico or Central America. They come from all over the world. But a great many of them do come across from Mexico, some legally and some illegally. And they have been working here in our system, many of them, for an entire lifetime, really. And they brought their children with them, or they've had children. And these people have been paying into the system. They've been contributing to Medicare and Social Security.
Yes.
They pay lots of income tax. They pay sales tax every time they buy something. These people have been contributing, and not only financially, but they've been contributing work-wise to the economy of this country.
Yes.
Building a great many
structures
and landscaping, and they work in the restaurants, and they work in the service industries.
And on farms.
And on farms. A great deal of
yes.
farms. They pick most of our fruits and vegetables.
Yes, they do.
They do. They do a great deal of the construction work that goes along with farming and ranching.
And they make everything, including the food, affordable to us. And that's why I support the immigrants.
In what way do you support the immigrants?
Well, first of all, I support the DREAM Act, and I am so proud of President Obama for having made the first steps to make sure that the young people are not in jeopardy of being sent back to Mexico. That's one, and that's a very important step. But I also want to make sure that they are going to get the education that they need in order to be our next discoverers of great things.
Well, yes, and one way they discover great things is by going to school.
Yes.
And education, I know personally, is one of your main concerns, and that our school systems have been under fire, frankly,
yes.
especially by your opponent, Steve Pierce, who has said on this channel that he would do away with public education
yes.
in favor of private schools and homeschooling. We certainly can't have that happen. And
no.
How would we improve the school system that we have at this point?
Well, I look at the No Child Left Behind Act, and I see that teachers have been complaining, and students for years now, about the non-stop testing that they have. And you don't learn anything from multiple choice tests. And when you have one right after the other, it doesn't give teachers the chance to work with their students, to learn from their textbooks, read, watch programs, educational programs, discuss those programs, all of the different ways that people can learn. We're not having them when they're doing standardized tests.
Well, yes, and when they're just teaching toward the test,
Yes.
The students are only learning a narrow
Yes.
set of knowledge, whereas they're not being taught critical thinking, and they're not being taught to think outside the box, and as well as thinking inside the box, which is very important as well.
And you know, Mark, I think that people are forgetting about self-esteem, and we are finding more and more by the time people, well, they haven't even graduated, and they probably will never graduate. Young women, young girls leaving school at a very early age with very little self-esteem, and the tools that they need, will only be learned from school. And so we must get those girls and boys too to stay in school and to feel better about themselves. And bringing jobs back to our country will help them too, knowing that they can be trained for jobs. I had a really unique situation at Los Alamos National Laboratory when I was going to NMSU, and I got a chance to learn how to do technical writing, and I became a technical writer at White Sands Missile Range after I got my degree. And I know that students can have that also.
Exactly, and another thing, we only have the 45 seconds left, but
Yes.
Veterans who, for instance, your opponent, Steve Pierce,
Yes.
has claimed many times that he's all in favor of veterans' needs, but then he votes against them. And I know that's something you'll never do.
Yes.
Veterans coming back from the wars need jobs,
Yes.
they need education, they need training.
That's right.
Although many of them are very well trained from what they've experienced in the Army, and they're looking for ways to put that training to good use here in the United States.
Yes.
Instead of having those jobs go overseas for the
Yes.
excuse that, well, we couldn't find anybody to fill those jobs. Well, those jobs are available thanks to our veterans and the training they've received. We're pretty much going to have to wrap this up, Evelyn. Thank you for being here.
Thank you, Mark.
Best of luck with your campaign. I know voting day is on Tuesday. Please, everybody get out and vote if you have not yet voted, and take a friend with you
Yes.
if they have not voted. And that's all the time we have right here on Double Talk. I'm Mark Steffen, and we'll be back here next week.